In today's episode, I'm going to go through the Brisbane Lions and how they're able to set up their ball movement, particularly from the half-back line against the Cats. It was outstanding. The delivery through the corridor, the ability to go wide, the ability to go off the line, the ability to actually kick into space. It just put the Geelong defence off their line. They weren't able to set up, they weren't able to organise, they weren't able to come off an intercept marked because of the ball movement. A lot of the commentators on Friday night were talking about how they're kicking off the line, and I'm going to show in these clips, I'm going to show you how they did that. They were really well organised, well structured, and first and foremost, their kicking skills were unreal. Let's get in the clips and I'll show you how they were able to do that. So Zorko takes a mark here, just inside D50. And what they're able to do, not only were they able to play on quickly and use their foot skills, but the ability to spread. And the ability for all their numbers to actually spread. So this is very, very early in the game. So pulls the trigger, spots up the target. They weren't happy. They wanted to play on quick because they didn't want to allow Geelong to set up. If you go slow against Geelong, they get their numbers back. They're able to set up really, really well. Then they're able to come off. Brisbane didn't allow them to do that. So they hit this target. A lot of times you hear commentators talking about lowering your eyes. Lowering your eyes means hitting this target, not bombing it or not kicking down the line. Lowering your eyes is actually hitting those outside, obviously 15 metres, but those 20 to 30 metre kicks, really short, really low, that's lowering your eyes. That's exactly what Brisbane was able to do. Then once they get in the corridor, the ability to kick off the line. Right, to kick off the line. What off the line means is not going directly to goals. So the ball's kicked here, so it's actually kicking off the line. So if you imagine there's a line there and there's a line on the goals there, it's actually kicking off the line. So this is the line and you're kicking off, and that's what they're able to do. Look at this. So when you go 1, 2, 3, 4 Geelong players, then you're spotting that one off the line. Then watch Lohman. He's the ability to go there, then come back at the ball. Ball bounces, hand pass, there's Lohman. So he was here, he's worked that way, and now he's darting back into this space. It's a great kick, lowering your eyes. So if Ashcroft was to then not have any options and kick, 1, 2, possibly 3, come off and intercept mark because there's only one Brisbane player. So the ability for Lohman to work and come at the ball was really critical, but also just to hit that target because all of a sudden now you're eliminating these players. Now Lohman goes back and look where he's looking. Straight into the corridor. He's not even looking to go down that way. Not even looking to go in line, off the line is towards the goals. 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 on 1 again. But as soon as he's got the ball, look at his vision, straight in the middle. This is where this player comes into play. So off the line again. So you're shifting the defence. They're rotating. They're going back and forth. And this is why it was so powerful for Brisbane. They just shifted, and they knew this. They knew how to work it. They knew if they could shift the defence of the Geelong backs, they would find space. Lowers his eyes, hits that target. Now watch when Dunkley gets the ball. He is not even looking towards the goals. He's looking off the line. And it's a great kick. Look at that. And hits Hipwood. So if he was to go in line, so Dunkley's here, if he's to go in line with the goals, and because he's kicked off the line, you've got a lot of one-on-ones here, but Geelong weren't able to get their numbers. And because of that switch kick from Lohman, you're eliminating these players here as well. So really awesome work, and this is really early on. So obviously a very clear message from the coaching staff of Brisbane to keep on switching the defence. So Starcevic marks on the half back line. So once again, look at his vision. This way, into the middle. He's not even... All the numbers are down this way. So he wants to kick off the line, wants to switch the play. And you would have noticed this throughout. And now look at all the players. They know there's a switch going to happen. Even this player here, working down, spreading. So the ability to spread. All these players here are going this way because they know there's a spread on. So look at the switch. Look at all these Geelong players that they have now eliminated by going off the line, by switching the play. This is where the honesty system comes in, or who's going to work harder. Now look at the player that you've got free. Now nothing comes of this. They kick it into the pocket and it goes out of bounds. But you can see by that one switch from Starcevic over here now, look at all the space you've got going inside forward 50, and you're eliminating a whole chunk of Geelong players to not be able to zone off. So Ashcroft gets it on the wing, running inside forward 50, and it's a great kick. Great kick here to Lohmann on the boundary. But the ability to kick off the line. So if you line up Ashcroft towards the goals this way, and on the flip side, this is what Brisbane like to do. They like to be in line. Their defenders like to be in line. And so if you kick off the line against them, this is what the Giants did to them last week. You eliminate a lot of their defenders because they can't come off and have their intercept mark. But so that's this. So he's kicked it off the line. Right, so he's kicked it away from this line, which then eliminates these players here. And then it's a great kick. You're hitting into space. But if it goes out of bounds, then you can reset. But at least you're deep inside your forward 50. You're not kicking to this space where they can have Geelong players come in, intercept, and then back out switch. And then that's when they slingshot footy. That's when they can get you. So McCluggage wins it on the half back line. And he's looking into the middle straight away. But he's lowering his eyes. So he's going for that kick. This kick here, this player receives it. He's actually behind the man. But because the kick is put into space, he puts, I think it's Rayner. McCluggage puts Rayner into the position where he's got to, because they wanted to lower their eyes. They didn't want to bomb it. If they bomb it, then these Geelong players come into play. Intercept mark, and away they go. So it was a clear instruction to lower their eyes. So Rainey gets it here, and he wants to play on. Once again, off the line. He wants to kick it out into this space. He doesn't want to get back off the mark and kick down the line. Even if he gets back off the mark and got these players here, that's not the instructions that they wanted to play. They wanted to switch the line. So if you're here, we're switching to here. Then we're switching to here. Then sometimes we'll come back into here, and then we'll go direct. So it was almost like they were going like this up the ground, a zigzag format, to try and shift the defence, try and get them going back and forth, turning their head, trying to find where the ball was. This gets smothered. Graham Myers gets it. All right. Then there's another turnover. But once again, even here, there's no panic. Grab the ball. Zorko grabs the ball. Don't panic at all. Know that we've got the ball back in possession. And there's the free player again. So it's not down the line. It's off the line. And then this is Ashcroft. The ability to work on the 45. Get across, run into space. So there he is there. This player has to come up on the mark, but it's the work rate, the 45 spread, off the line. So instead of Day getting it and kicking towards goals, he's kicking it off the line. So it looks, and there's the space, and there is where. So if he kicks it long, you've got these Geelong players coming back to potentially intercept the mark, but you're kicking it into space. This results in a goal. So Brisbane have the ball outside forward 50. Now this is a really good example. Nothing comes of this, but you can see where they've tried to organise the space. And it's the ability of these players to actually push in to create this space so the forward comes into it. But what if I draw a line towards the goals? It's a very squiggly line. But there's the line. Right? So off the line means into this space. Look at all those numbers in and around this line here towards the goal. Where's the space? Obviously there. Nothing comes of it, but you can tell exactly what they're trying to do. So the very next play, Harris gets the ball. Harris Andrews. So he's looking into the corridor, not down the line. As I keep saying, this is the line to where the kicker is. So the definition of off the line is here. That's off the line, even in this situation here. But they didn't want to go the skinny side. They always wanted to go the fat side. They always wanted the fat side is on the. There's more area space here from where Harris Andrews is, instead of the skinny side towards the boundary that is on the left-hand side of where he is positioned right now. But the way this works really effectively is this play here. So the ability to come in, take the defender with them, and push in to create the space. So lowers his eyes. You got run from behind too, but you can see all the numbers of Geelong all lined up towards goals. But then ability to get back. Now look at this play here. He's still pushing in here, and this is where Lohman comes from. Open space. You can see the open space right now. So that space doesn't open up if this player does not move into where all the traffic is. So it's a great set play. McCluggage is off the line, and look at that kick. Well weighted, well drilled, well set up from the forwards to create that space, and hits Lohman. So you can see already from some of the clips that I've showed you, the ability to go off the line. Very, very important. Their structure and their homework to actually shift the defence of Geelong is what was able to get them the 4 points on Friday night. So Berry's got it deep inside back 50. And then just watch how this unfolds. So lowering your eyes. So they didn't want to go down the line, because look at if he goes down the line, look at all these Geelong numbers. That's where they come off. That's where they love to intercept. But just lower their eyes. Now look at Dunkley. His vision is that way. Not even considering that way. Not even considering down the line. Risky kick, but they wanted to go for it. Wanted to go for that 45 to pull the trigger. Now McCluggage gets it, and now look at the space. You're eliminating a lot of these players down the line, especially this one, who then would feel like he'd come off an intercept over Harris Andrews. Now Harris Andrews, great kick. So off the line again. Not going to go down here, because look who's standing. They've zoned off. So it's a great little dinky kick over the top. Could have even used these players here, but because he had pressure, he probably didn't see it. But the kick to Logan Morris is off the line in the space for him to run into. But look how the Cats are set up here. So if he was to kick towards the goals, they would have been a big chance to intercept, even with Stanley down there. But he kicks in the pocket, and Logan Morris kicks goal. Now this is a great example. So Zorko kicks it in from full back, lowers his eyes. But just watch the work rate. I think it's Charlie Cameron here, of the ability to go off the line. So it's a great kick to actually create the space. And this is an amazing kick. So this is actually using the space, but actually kicking off the line again. So there's the line, but kicking off the line. So it's a great kick by Zach Bailey. Just a little chip kick. Now you eliminate the Geelong players here. This little kick here creates accountability for the other players up, the Geelong defenders down the ground. They just couldn't adapt. And then he break the line. Look at Logan Morris. He's pointing this way, but then darts back. It's a wonderful kick because by him going this way, he's creating the space behind him. Boom. Dinky. Hit up into space. When you're actually shifting the ball like that on the angle, as you saw Zach Bailey to Cameron, then back to Zach Bailey, the defenders, Geelong, they have to switch their head. So one, they're trying to pick up where the defender is, but two, they're trying to keep an eye on where the ball is, and it's really hard to do to actually switch. The good thing about what Logan Morris did is he was running hard towards the goal. Because the ball was shifting, he timed his run to come back to Zach Bailey, and that's where he's able to get into that space. Okay, so this is the last clip. So deep in there, back 50 again from Brisbane. Ability to shift the defence. So long switch. Ashcroft has to work in this situation because by him working out wide, he creates space behind him for other players to go into. But if he keeps going, then he can be used as an option. So by him spreading now, he has created space for other players to come into, but now he becomes an option because he's actually gone out of that space. If he stayed there, then this transition doesn't happen. Goes short, but then you've got the run from behind. You've got those players that have actually worked in behind Ashcroft, so Starcevic and the defenders, to be able to then become a handball receive. So Starcevic gets it, and there's lowering your eyes, hitting that target. You're not kicking to what Geelong love, which is down the line towards the goals, kick it long. They did the homework, Brisbane. It was awesome to watch. Then you got run from behind still. Look at this. They'll probably look at it and go, we could have used that as well. But they spread the defence. They went out wide. They made sure that they kept the ball moving on different angles to shift the defence. Lowered his eyes. Look at that space. If he'd kicked long, Starcevic, these players would have had a field day. But because he lowered his eyes, able to get this, and then Charlie Cameron goes back off the mark, kicks it to Logan Morris, who goes in open goal, and look at Charlie Cameron there. So, awesome setup. So the structure was so well organised. They lowered their eyes. They did a lot of homework on actually trying to shift the defence. The ability to lower their eyes, with the ability to switch the play with really quick foot skills, run from behind. They just were really, really well organised and well structured. And the Geelong defenders couldn't get near it. They couldn't intercept. They couldn't get their slingshot footy that they love to do off the half-back line. They just were inactive all night, and it was a credit to Brisbane. Let's go to the whiteboard, and I'll show you a little drill that you can do that helps you with lowering your eyes. The ability to come out of contest and ability to lower your eyes when you've got a defender as a one-on-one up the field. So depending on the space that you have, but what you like to set up is you like to have a player here and a defender. Then up the field, you want to have probably two pairs, probably one there and one here. How the drill works, say this is the coach. Coach rolls it on the ground because what you want to do is you want to put this player under pressure. So that's where you have this player, the defender doesn't go until this player gets the ball, so it takes off. That's what creates the urgency of the kick, the instinctive. You get more game simulated. So once this player picks up the ball, the defender behind picks up. But once the ball is rolled, these players here go. They head back towards their goals. The idea is for them to go, create space behind them, and then come back in whatever way it is. So they hedge their bet. So one might go hard or one might go semi-hard. Depending on how you work it, you've got to work together as a pair. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to go, the defenders here just semi-pressure. It's more for the kicker to then be able to train to lower their eyes. So these players here run hard towards the goals and then dart back for a little dinky kick. What you might find, what might happen, is that the defender might go early anticipating it, and then there's a kick over the top. But the whole idea for this is to put this player under pressure with the defender running from behind, but then to spot up and lower their eyes to have this kick. So one of the things you saw with Brisbane is that the ability to lower their eyes, and this is a good drill for it. So there you go. So even though Brisbane were really focused on lowering their eyes, they used their foot skills extremely well, but they also kicked off the line. So that was really highlighted in those clips that I showed you. So I hope you got a bit out of that. Hopefully something you can incorporate in your game style. Key is to actually shift. If you come up against an opponent that likes to zone off like Geelong does and intercept mark, kick off the line. Don't kick towards goals. There's always going to be frees out. If they're going to zone off in line with the goals, look laterally, because there's always going to be frees there that you can hit up.